Dennis and Hoffaday, the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Taxation, Labor Procurement, Statistics, Research, and Planning is calling this virtual hearing to order. It is now 9 a.m. Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. Notice of this morning's virtual hearing is provided to senators, stakeholders, and local media via email on July 14th, 2021 for the 5-day notice and July 19th for the 48-hour notice, thus meeting the requirements of open government law. The purpose of this hearing is to receive testimony for the following appointments. The executive appointment of Mr. Christopher S. Murphy to serve as a member, real estate broker representative of the Guam Real Estate Commission. And the second item is to receive testimony and executive appointment of Mr. Justin P. Beneventi to serve as a member of the Mixed Martial Arts representative of the Guam Unarmed Combat Commission. After today, the committee will continue to receive written testimony until 4 p.m. on Tuesday, July 27, 2021. Please address testimony to Senator Sabina Perez, Chairperson of the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Taxation, Labor Procurement, Statistics, Research and Planning, or it can be dropped at the mailboxes at the Guam Congress Building or emailed to office@senatorperez.org. The rules of the conduct of this virtual public hearing are as follows. The host will mute all participants until they are called upon by the chair. Virtual background should not be utilized during this hearing, and participants' face must be visible at all times. When called to speak, please ensure that you're unmuted and that you're speaking into the microphone. Individuals testifying shall be first recognized by the chair before speaking and shall state their name for record-keeping purposes. Please state your name for record-keeping purposes. The order of questioning will begin with myself and any of senators that are here. Questions and testimony shall be confined to the substance or nature of the agenda. Personal inference as to character or motive of any senator or any individual testifying is not permitted. And now to begin our agenda, to hear testimony on the executive appointment of Mr. Christopher S. Murphy to serve as a member, real estate broker representative of the Guam Real Estate Commission. The commission functions as follows. They adopt rules and regulations relating to the administration of the real estate as long as it adheres to law. The commission is responsible for hearing client complaints towards licensed realtors and brokers and determining judgments in terms of the complaints filed. The commission may make such recommendation and suggestions of the policy to the commissioner as the commission deems beneficial and proper for the welfare and progress of real estate licensees and the public and of the real estate business on Guam. Notices were sent to Department of Revenue and Taxation. I would like to now invite Mr. Pangilinan to provide his testimony, and then we'll follow with the nominee himself. So welcome, Mr. Pangilinan.
Good morning, Madam Chair. And my name is Frank Pangilinan. I'm a real estate broker, and I'm also a member of the Guam Real Estate Commission. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my oral testimony in support of Mr. Christopher Murphy's appointment or reappointment to the Guam Real Estate Commission. I've known Chris Murphy for the last 15 years since I've got into the real estate industry, and a few more years prior to that when he was the vice president and business center manager for the First Hawaiian Bank here in Guam. Aside from his strong personal characteristics and things like that, one strong point that stands out with Mr. Murphy, and that's his strong desire to improve things here on the island, consumer protections in the area of the real estate industry. He's been very concerned about the lack of or outdated rules, regulations, and laws in Guam. In May 2016, Mr. Murphy was appointed a member of the Guam Real Estate Commission, and the long dormant commission was reawakened. During his 4-year term, he was selected among his fellow members to be the chairperson of the commission. And during that 4-year term and under his leadership, he was able to address a number of items and projects that some of them are either completed or are ongoing, one of which is the seller's disclosure, being it's Bill 29-36. One of the items that he has done, the first one was updated the license examinations that real estate agents and real estate brokers, candidates undertake in order to get their license. Some of the questions there were either non-relevant or outdated. Further, second one, he's expanded the number of continuing education courses that licensed real estate agents and licensed real estate brokers must undertake in order to renew their real estate license. He's further added additional sources from which these licensees can take their courses, their continuing education courses. He has work in progress. Currently, anyone applying applicants for either initial or renewal of real estate license, they must manually process that by appearing at Revenue Tax. He's working on the process to do that online, such as that's enjoyed right now by those folks who have the standard business license and vehicle registrations. He has work in progress with a seller's disclosure, which you, Senator Perez, know intimately. He's also working on one thing that's very dear to me. He's working on some of the changes to the real estate licensing regulations. One current situation we have right now is the requirements for a real estate broker license. The current requirement is that one has to be a real estate agent licensed for a minimum of 2 years, but there is no requirement whatsoever on the number or experience as a real estate agent. So a real estate agent having 2 years as a license who's dormant takes the real estate broker's license and issues a license. I hate to have anybody who has a newly married child and that child is ready to go buy a house and be held by such a broker. We need protection for our consumers on the island. In the last 4 years, Mr. Murphy and the Real Estate Commission have entertained a number of complaints from both the consumers and real estate licensed individuals on what may appear to be the questionable behaviors of some of the real estate licensees. So in closing, I look at this, and as far as I'm concerned, Senator, good morning, Senator Brown. In closing, I find no better candidate than Mr. Chris Murphy to continue these projects, the ones that are ongoing. And there are a couple of other projects that he's done that I didn't want to bore you folks. So in closing, I sincerely and respectfully request your committee and the legislature's confirmation of Mr. Murphy's appointment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pangilinan, for that testimony and enlightening us and the public of the shortfalls that are within the industry and how Mr. Murphy has addressed them in his capacity in the commission. So Zuzmasi. I'd like to now recognize Senator Telo Taitigui and Senator Joanne Brown, who's joined me here today. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to invite the nominee himself, Mr. Murphy, for his testimony.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and welcome, fellow senators. I hope everyone had a nice Liberation Day. First of all, I want to thank the governor for her continued confidence in my ability as a member of the Guam Real Estate Commission. As you know, and as the senator indicated, the Real Estate Commission's main goal is to promote a strong and viable real estate industry on Guam. It's been our goal to continually raise the bar for the 500 plus real estate licensees, professionals, which in turn proves the overall buying and selling experience for both local residents as well as off-island investors. Our efforts to raise the bar has included revising the real estate pre-licensing course, as Frank indicated, and the related examination, making it a lot more current and relative to the actual practice of real estate on Guam. We've also increased the continuing education opportunity for licensees both locally with the adoption of new schools, as well as online with individual practitioners, thereby once again providing a more diverse range of educational alternatives for licensees, which again will improve the buying and selling experience for our local residents. In addition to educational improvements, we have been reviewing Guam real estate laws and are actively pursuing new laws, as well as recommending the modification and elimination of outdated laws. One example, as we've discussed earlier, is the seller disclosure law, which will level the playing field for both buyers and sellers on Guam. Finally, we are taking an active role in addressing customer complaints to ensure that all those involved in a real estate transaction on Guam are treated fairly and with respect and honesty. This to me is an extremely important function of the Commission. Up to now, there was nowhere an individual could go to resolve issues regarding real estate transactions other than an attorney. So once again, we want to make sure that the real estate industry is viewed as being highly professional and based on honest dealings for all. So in conclusion, I look forward to building upon these initial accomplishments by the Commission, and thank you for your continued support.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Murphy, for your continued service on the Commission and your leadership in spearheading a lot of the modernization and updates of the real estate industry, and to help create that level playing field. So yeah, thank you so much. And you know, I guess the question that I have perhaps for Mr. Pangilinan is, what were some of the questionable practices that you've been seeing come before the Commission? Or this question could be for Mr. Murphy himself, but if you can maybe highlight some of those things, and you know, what perhaps is what changes in laws that can address that, or you know, practices that can be updated.
Go ahead, Frank.
Would you like me to respond to that, or should I let Mr. Murphy?
Yeah, maybe we'll have the nominee maybe perhaps talk about.
Sure. A couple of the things that we've seen, people advertising that they're licensed realtors when they're not, when they don't have a license, which directly violates the law. We've experienced commingling of accounts where realtors put money that should be in trust accounts for their brokers into their personal accounts. We've seen mismanagement in terms of property management issues for some people. So some of these are, in my mind, are serious things that have been going on. It's just that there's been no body that people can bring these issues to. But the commingling, unlicensed people, these are serious problems, and it gives the whole industry a bad name, and it creates an atmosphere where people who are buying and selling, you know, have a little distrust in the transaction and the people they're dealing with. It, you know, if these events are understood and brought out to the open.
Okay. And as far as remedies, so what are the remedies in place, or does there need to be a change in laws?
Well, some of the remedies have been, you know, one person lost, you know, their license was not renewed. And what happens is the letters are sent out, and then the individuals are required to address them and either correct the issues or take it a step further. But I think the key thing is that we're bringing it to people's attention. And I think the more we do this, the more people will be inclined to report it, because traditionally on Guam, as you know, people don't like to discuss things like that or talk bad about our fellow residents, because it's just an embarrassing thing to do. But with real estate, if you don't bring those out and you don't do it in writing and someone doesn't address them, then they perpetuate themselves. And eventually, you know, buyers and sellers suffer, you know, from those actions. So I think the more we get that open, the more individuals understand that there's a place that they can go to now, and people are more inclined to bring up issues. And I think the fact that they bring them up means they're very serious to that particular individual. So I just think that the Commission one of the key things that the commission has brought is the ability to monitor the behavior of licensees.
Okay, thank you for that response. And is there any ways, so I guess maybe what are your priorities on the commission as far as maybe you can highlight some of the projects that you have in line or that you want to prioritize in the upcoming term?
I think, you know, hopefully we can see the seller disclosure through to a successful end. The other thing is sections 102 and 104, especially with the educational, that's Title 21, section regarding education. And like Frank touched on a little bit about revising the requirements for obtaining the real estate license and for the continuing education. I know we've talked with Alice at Rev and Tax about creating a new due date for renewals that makes it easier for Rev and Tax to function. So I think working on identifying or further identifying things that need to be addressed, either eliminated or modified in Title 21, those two sections, specifically the education would be our primary goal. And then after that would be, you know, continue to refine opportunities for continuing education and for addressing complaints, and then for automation of the system to make it a little more user-friendly for licensees themselves.
Great. Well, thank you for your commitment and your service to the commission and for the island of Guam and the industry. So yeah, you have my support. And I'm going to now open up the floor to my colleagues. Thank you so much, Chris. Senator Brown, if you have any comments or questions.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. I certainly appreciate the fact that Mr. Murphy has signed up again, so to speak, to serve on this board. And I do appreciate his input with regards to properly addressing real estate practitioners out in our community, because, you know, most people are not well versed on what the requirements are, certainly for new you know, interested individuals who want to own a home or purchase property. You want to ensure that they're going to someone who's reliable and can give them the proper information, especially, Madam Chair, because this is, you know, when for most people, when they purchase a home, it's their single largest investment that they may have on their life. And I know we want, and I'm sure they want to ensure that who they're getting assistance from, you know, and helping them purchase a home is someone that's qualified and is following ethical practices, because, you know, we always know when money's involved, I mean, there's a lot of good things that can happen, but there's also a lot of bad things can happen. So I like the fact that Mr. Murphy's looking at how he can better improve the real estate industry on Guam for the interest of everyone. And I just wanted to ask him, in the time you have served, what would you like to see more? I know you elaborated on doing some improvement on the regulations and requirements, but what more do you think you can contribute with your continued presence? What have you not accomplished so far that you would like to do in this next appointment that you have?
Thank you, Senator. I really think that the education feature of the commission is extremely important, and in line with that, making sure that we have we have 500 plus licensed individuals running around on Guam as real estate people. And as Frank alluded to, there are a lot of brokers out there that have never done a transaction. And these are the people that are in charge of businesses, and they are the ones that are mentors and instructors and leaders of individual agents. So I really think we need to make sure that people who take on the responsibility of being a broker are truly educated, experienced, you know, to do so that the people that they bring along are, you know, get the benefit of someone who's knowledgeable. And then at the same time, some of these people, I've come across them where brokers don't know how to write up a real estate contract. And I end up writing it for them because they've never done it. But that's the way the system is now. And you know, it's for better or worse, that's the way it is. So we have to change those kind of things. And like I said, raise the bar to the point where if you're going to take on that responsibility, you have to have the commitment, the experience, and the education, you know, and the commitment to do that so it's done properly, and then we don't have issues, that result in legal problems, or like you said, first time buyers having a bad experience in their first purchase and things like that. So the education, but along with that would be the laws, because a lot of the laws are antiquated. And so we have to figure out, which ones are really applicable and which ones no longer even apply to Guam. And that's something we did with the real estate exam. There were a lot of things on that exam that were related to the mainland or other places that people here would never, ever use in their entire real estate career. So there's no point in teaching people things that they don't practically use in their experience as a realtor. So my goal is really to make it a practical experience, an environment for licensees, so that they, one, improve themselves, and then two, improve the ones that they're with, and then the whole community benefits from that. So I really think the education and tweaking some of the existing laws would be what I'd like to focus on.
Well, I certainly appreciate, like I said, your continued service, and what improvements can be made with regards to legislation. I know our chair, and certainly we're open to supporting you and the members of your organization. Certainly, if there are things we need to amend in the legislation or update, especially as the bottom line for us is always accountability, no matter what area it's in. Our people deserve that, certainly. So if there's legislation or things, I'm sure you can bring that up to the attention of our chair, and she'll relay it to the rest of us. We'll be more than happy to look at what updates need to be made, or if there are existing laws you think are antiquated and are obstacles towards having, good operations out there in our real estate community. Certainly bring that to our attention. We'll be open to dialoguing, and if there's amendments that need to be made that are good, we'll be more than happy to support you. And thank you again for your continued commitment to stay on board and serve the public. It's most appreciated. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you so much, Senator Brown. Senator Tello-Taitigui, you have any comments or questions?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity, and good morning to you, and good morning to the panel. Always good to see you, Frank. Hi, Justin. And greatly appreciate your input, Frank, especially. You've been in this business a long time, and having you speak on behalf of Mr. Murphy says a lot about his character, because I totally respect the work that you've done, Frank, in the community, as well as your ethics when it comes to real estate. So greatly appreciate your comments today and being here. Chris, you definitely owe him a lunch for this one to show up to.
We have the Mananco lunch every month, so.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you.
You're welcome. Chris, this is your first thank you for continuing to serve the community in this capacity. It's not a very glamorous job. Sometimes you get hit by your fellow colleagues, which makes it very difficult to sit in your position. I just hope that, Chris, that you continue to follow through, especially those who are not actually conducting business in an ethical manner. It's one thing to see what's going on, but it takes courage to follow through with it. And I know, Chris, it's a small island, but somebody's got to do it. And I was wondering, on the website for the Real Estate Commission, is there any opportunity for people to come forward with complaints, like whistleblowers that can stay anonymous and be able to provide information directly to you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I get calls almost every other day now from real estate agents that need guidance, or they have a problem with something, and I tell them that you really need to go to Rev and Tax. We have a form on the website. It's a very simple form, but we can't take any action on anything that's not written. And so that's part of the challenge that we have is, as you say, people like to be anonymous. They don't want to say something about their colleagues. But I think we're seeing a slight change in that now, because some of these issues that have happened, they've been so egregious that people just have to do it. And so I think the more they do it and they see the outcomes of it, I think gradually we'll get that. But you're right. People generally don't want to say anything, but we really can't take any action unless it's in writing and signed. So that does pose a challenge.
Well, I think the government of Guam has the opportunity for people called whistleblowers to keep them anonymous. If the government of Guam can do it, and considering the Guam Commission, the Real Estate Commission is basically part of the government of Guam, I don't see why that can't be implemented into the commission when receiving any kind of complaints moving forward. So I asked if you can look into that, Chris, to find ways to protect those. You know, I mean, I'm not saying people are, you know, they just have, I don't want to use that word, but there's reason as to why they can't say something, but they at least making the effort to point out there's been a discrepancy or something unethical. You know, technology today, I mean, we're old school, Frank, you and I, we're old school people. So back in the day, the only, you know, 411 was, or 114 was the, I think I did say 411. It's been a long time since we used the old school of information, gathering information. Nowadays, people are putting things all over the internet and on Facebook, and that's how people are finding out, you know, especially if they're impacted about a certain subject matter. And not knowingly, someone taking a innocent video of something and realizing that, hey, wait a minute, that's my property there. How is this, you know, real estate person supposed to sell it when, you know, belongs to things like that. So technology has come a long way so that we can see some of this, and it's real important. The other one is, you know, I know there's 7 members that sit on the board. 4 of them are the real estate agents, and you meet quarterly. Unfortunately, your website only has up to January 23rd, 2020 was the last reported meeting for the commission. Can you tell me why is that, or is there they just not posted on, or you're supposed to only meet quarterly?
The law requires us quarterly. In fact, we've been discussing to do it more frequently, because if we have these complaints come across, we can't wait 3 months to address the complaint, because normally it involves money, it involves a license, it involves things that needs relatively quick action on it. So I think in the past, the delay, COVID kind of made it hard to meet, because there wasn't really anything to address during that period of time between us. So I think there weren't, in the initial period, there wasn't a lot of information that needed to be covered. But I think moving forward, from my experience, it looks like we're going to be a lot more active as people bring out more issues. And if we're trying to revise laws and things like that, we'll need to be change that to at least, every other month. I'd like to see it monthly, but, because I think it's an ongoing thing, and things always pop up, and to be able to address them as timely as possible makes sense to me. Okay, well, I hope that that can be changed. When was the last time you guys met, though? Gosh, it was it was probably a while ago. Probably at the very onset, I think, of COVID. So I looked on the website, and it looks like the last time you met was January 23rd, 2020. Was logged in. So that's over a year. I'm going on over a year and a half since the last time you met. So I'm not sure why you haven't, but Chris, you are currently the chairman of the board right now? Okay. Yes. So, well, Mr. Chair, I think you need to have a meeting. No, and like you said, I understand, and I think we need it now more than the quarterly. So we'll have to have that revised and try to do that so that things are done on a more timely basis as all these new issues are arising. Well, thank you, Chris. And this is how many terms have you served on this commission? This will be my third. This will be your third term. Okay. Well, thank you so much, continuing to give back to the community and what you're doing. And really, Chris, if there's anybody, I don't want to see anybody turn a blind eye. Our people and our island are more important, that we continue to keep them safe. And
I greatly appreciate you continuing wanting to serve. Madam Chair, that being said, I don't know if we have to do this by law to change the time in which they meet, because it is, I think, by law to make that change, and also to incorporate the whistleblower to allow those people to provide. But that might be legislation that's needed, and I hope to work with you, Madam Chair, to make that change. Greatly appreciate it for the opportunity, and everyone who's here this morning. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Senator Tadekwe. Great recommendations. Yeah, willing to work with you as well. So that being that there are no further testimonies for the executive appointment for Mr. Christopher S. Murphy to serve as a member of the Real Estate Broker Representative of the Guam Real Estate Commission. This hearing is now duly heard. It is 9:31 a.m. Stuart Masi, Mr. Murphy, and Mr. Pangilinan for your attendance. Have a great day.
Thank you, Madam Chair and fellow senators. Thank you.
Take care. Item of the agenda, which is to hear testimony for the executive appointment of Mr. Justin P. Beneventi to serve as a member of the Mixed Martial Arts Representative of the Guam Unarmed Combat Commission. Some of the responsibilities of the commission are as follows. They shall adopt rules and regulations for the administration of this chapter. The rules and regs must include the number and qualifications of ring officials required at any exhibition or contest, procedures for obtaining police and court clearances, to investigate the criminal history of all ring officials and employees of the commission, and any other applicant the commission wishes to investigate, powers and duties and compensation of ring officials, qualifications of licensees, the rules of competition, weighing of contestants and scoring of decisions, age limits, weight limits, physical conditions, and classification of contestants. The commission shall also review and approve all forms of contracts between sponsors, licensees, promoters, and contestants. The commission may appoint one or more official representatives to be designated as inspectors and may appoint one chief inspector. The commission shall also have the authority to affiliate with any other state or national boxing commission or athletic authority. They also have the authority to give licenses or revoke licenses, as well as to approve or deny any application. So it's a commission that's just being started. I believe it hasn't been fully paneled since its inception in 2009. And we're getting several candidates or nominees, and we heard testimony for 2 nominees, and now we're hearing testimony for a 3rd nominee today, and it's Justin P. Beneventi. So at this time, we would like to invite the nominee to provide his testimony. Welcome. Good morning, Justin.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but now your video just turned off. You can try to.
Oh, okay. Trying to look at some notes here on my on my phone. So can I just give my testimony without the video at the moment?
Yes. Go ahead and allow that, since we did see your face earlier.
Okay. Half a day, everyone. My name is Justin Beneventi, and I am honored to be nominated to serve as a member of the Guam Unarmed Combat Commission. I'd like to share a little bit about my experiences and background in regards to mixed martial arts. I've been involved in the MMA industry over the past 15 years, and I have participated in the industry as an athlete as well as an official. I've worked previously for the Guam Commission, Unarmed Combat Commission, as a judge and a referee in previous events on Guam. And I've also worked with local organizations such as PXC, Pacific Extreme Combat, and international organizations such as Pancrase, Ryzen, Hex, and UFC. Those are organizations in Japan, Australia, and in the US as well. I understand the importance of this commission and the duties entrusted in me to fulfill. I plan to help regulate the MMA industry on Guam in order to provide a safe platform for aspiring athletes. And, I'd like to thank you for entrusting me with this responsibility. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say at the moment. pretty simple. I think it's something that's that we really need to have in order to provide, like I said, a platform for young aspiring athletes on Guam to make it to the international level.
Thank you so much, Justin. Does that conclude your testimony for now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so first of all, thank you for accepting the nomination. And we understand this is an industry that needs, development as far as our foundation is concerned. The rules and regs are currently not, they've been null and void since the last commission. And so this is something that is needed to be, I guess, one of the first things that are needed to be done is to assure that these rules and regulations are in place to provide proper regulatory framework for the commission to work on. So we do appreciate that you are committed to that and to regulating the industry. So this is a different facet that you'll be involved in. Like you said, you've been involved in 15 years as an athlete as well as as a referee. So that brings a definite perspective, an important perspective, looking out for the safety of the participants, as well as how the business operates too. But as a government entity, this is a new facet where you have to now regulate the very people that you are associated with, right? So this is something that the laws that we have in place, what dictates the commission, what the commission has to basically follow. And so we are looking forward to, I'm looking forward to assisting the commission in that regard. And, really glad to see people that know the industry and have the interest of the safety of the participants at heart. So, so I guess as far as questions go, do you have any conflicts of interest, or can you foresee any conflicts of interest at this time?
No, none at the moment. I do have a lot of friends in the business of mixed martial arts, but I don't foresee that being a problem. I am also working with the previous people that were on the commission to work with the regulations that they had and how we could modify them to improve them for this new commission.
Okay. Okay, that's good. You're already getting your footwork in. In regards to, what do you see as some of the areas that, I guess, in the industry today, what are some areas you think that we might need to strengthen as far as regulation is concerned?
Well, I think it's just very important to get qualified individuals that are working in the field, as far as like the right medical people that are in there inspecting and testing these athletes, making sure they are able to participate safely, and having the right officials that are regulating the events during the event, such as judges and referees that will be able to regulate it safely, so that athletes safety is the number one thing in mixed martial arts, as a lot can happen in seconds. So it's very important that we have experienced people that are working with us to regulate that during events and before and after, so that the right things can be noticed as soon as possible.
Okay. And as far as like money handling, so I imagine this is going to be big events, a lot of money being passed. How would you regulate the money, or what sort of ideas do you have in mind?
Well, as the law dictates, we would have to collect these monies and for each event, and the licensing fees, and put them into the Guam Unarmed Combat Commission and the fund right in the Guam Treasury. So we plan to use these monies in a way that would help the industry and hire the right officials is that sufficient?
Okay, and in the 4 years, should you be confirmed, what would you like to accomplish in these 4 years?
Like I said before, since we don't have a commission in place at the moment, there really is no platform for athletes on Guam, and there is a big pool of talent. In previous years, with organizations such as Pacific Extreme Combat, it provided such a good platform for athletes to make it in the professionally and international level. Fighting in organizations in Japan or in Las Vegas and making a living off of mixed martial arts. So I think that in the next few years, just helping promoters develop these platforms would be a big win for Guam to get us on that international level.
Okay, great. Yeah, here we have the largest number of jiu-jitsu clubs per capita. So that speaks a lot, how popular it is on Guam. And that's just one of them, one of the, the skills.
Yeah, there's all kinds of martial arts, and it's huge on Guam. People like to participate in wrestling, judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and there's a lot of scrappy people on Guam, and it's good to give them an outlet that's positive instead of seeing all these fights on the street or in bars, and I think it does make a big impact on Guam, having that outlet and being able to participate in a disciplined way. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Justin, for your testimony and for accepting this nomination. It is public service outside of your family and personal life and your business life. So we do appreciate that. And being that this is going to take a lot of time, do you see that you can provide are you committed to giving of your time to ensure that the foundation is laid properly and getting this industry off the ground?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely committed. This is something that's I have a personal interest too, as far as I like to see the industry develop more. It's more of a passion project for me. So I'd like to see more people participate, and I'd like to see the industry grow a lot more. So I'll be able to find the time for sure.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Justin, for your testimony. And I'd like to open the floor to my colleagues. Senator Brown, if you have any questions or comments for the nominee.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. You certainly asked a lot of the key questions I would have asked, but I just wanted to ask Mr. Beneventi to elaborate. Has he himself ever participated in these types of mixed martial arts, or is it more as a fan and observer? And what got him interested in wanting to have this appointment or receive this appointment to serve in this capacity?
Yeah, I have participated as a fighter on the amateur and professional level. And I also have, I've been nominated to be a judge in several events and a referee, just being involved in different things. And I used to coach jiu-jitsu. So, I'm also a black belt at jiu-jitsu. So I do that weekly. I don't coach anymore, but I still participate. And yeah, I just felt very comfortable with being nominated in this commission. And I do know a lot. I bring a lot of insight. I think with being involved in seeing different organizations run these events, and I see how things can take a really bad turn if there isn't a body regulating these events. So I know it's very important, and I'm confident in my ability to be on this commission.
Well, thank you very much for that response. I mean, I appreciate your insight and certainly the concern you bring to the table just because of your own experience. I think that will be a tremendous asset because most of us in the rest of the community are not involved in this, are not as informed or aware. So I appreciate you giving me your background. Pretty impressive. I don't have a black belt in anything, so my hat's off to you. For the credentials that you bring to the table and the insight that you bring. I mean, we're always wanting to see how we can improve. I mean, I don't like to see the government over-regulate at one end, but at the other end, where there's a need for standards and safety, you know, and responsible sports in our community. I mean, I think we all want that. We want people to be safe. So thank you very much for accepting the appointment, and we certainly wish you well in your service to the people of Guam and serving on this commission. So thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. Beneventi, for responding to my questions. Thank you.
Yeah, very much.
All right, thank you, Senator Brown. Senator Taitigui.
Half day, Justin. I'm one of your Facebook friends. I've watched your, your posts and I thoroughly enjoy it. The information that you put out, the pictures that you've shown. I mean, you have come a long way.
Thank you.
You know, and thank you so much, not just, you know, for your own, I want to say professional, you know, career in the field, but also what you brought to the community and helping others, you know, focusing their energy into the ring, you know, rather than the street is so important. And I'm glad that you're going to be a part of that change. And well, I'm a big fan of the sport. As you can see, I don't know if you can see my boxing bag in the back there. I have my own boxing bag. So I enjoy the sport. It's a lot of how can I say it puts out a lot of energy, but you know it's a very technical sport too. You know, very technical, mathematical, even in most parts. So it is something that that's very interesting to learn, and it's not that easy. You don't just get up there and punch. You know, there's a lot that's involved in it. So this commission that you're going to be serving on, you know, Justin, because you have a lot of friends in the industry, and sometimes you have to regulate your friends. Again, it's not going to be the popular job, but you know, just let them know you're doing your job, and it's for the next generation. Because when you're gone, you want to make sure that this commission is run with good ethics, you know, morals, and most especially safety for our children. Justin, have you ever thought of incorporating? And I don't know how long the commission is. I think our Oversight Chair mentioned that the rules and regs are not in place at this time. Is that the scenario right now?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so you got some work to do, you know, a lot of work to do, get that up and running. I hope that you can also incorporate, Justin, about retirement for these athletes. You know, there are a lot of medical issues that come with the sport that need to be addressed. And there needs to be somebody there to also recognize, because, you know, you could keep going and going till you hurt yourself. I mean, seriously, for the rest of your life, hurt yourself. And those things need to be addressed, right? So, Justin, is there anything that maybe you can bring to the table for those athletes who watching their health, their physical health, and any kind of, you know, injury that might, you know, take them for the rest of their life, that they won't be able to function as a normal person? Can you speak on that, how you would incorporate something like that?
Oh, yeah, that's a really big concern. I see a lot of people that are in the as career fighters. You know, they have lasting effects if they don't take care of themselves, or you know, if they don't have anybody advising them. So what we plan to do is, you know, we have to have a mixed martial arts doctor, of course, examining these athletes before they participate in these events. And it's very important to have experienced referees that are there during the events to ensure that there's no permanent damage caused to these athletes while they participate. So, I plan to have a very strict review of these athletes before and after to see if we would continue to license them, after each event and ensure that it's regulated enough during the event that they don't have these permanent injuries. So, I mean, that's as far as retirement. Yeah, that goes along with that as far as the commission reviewing them and deciding if we were going to continue to license them if they are showing signs of injury or fatigue that wouldn't allow them to defend themselves properly during these events. So yeah, I think that would be sufficient at this time to have that in place. Yeah.
And I think maybe something after fighting, that there might be something that they can do to contribute to the community as trainers themselves, or finding an avenue for them to find a life that would sustain them as well. Programs, GCC, things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I know that once we do have more athletes going, and the international level and becoming world champions, then we will have a place for these retired athletes to become coaches and open facilities that could help train these young people that are up and coming, and it could create a new careers for people on Guam that are retired athletes. But right now, there are only a handful of people that are actually making money off of this industry, and it is a huge industry, and I know there's a lot of talent that would need coaches and trainers. So at the moment, it's just not developed. So that's why there are a lot of athletes that are working, training and fighting professionally, but also holding other jobs, right? So full-time jobs. That's really hard.
And like yourself, you're still at Coffee Slut? You're still,
yeah,
are you still working?
Yeah, still managing that and some other businesses as well.
You've got a full plate for sure.
Yeah.
But and even with that, I'm happy to know that you're wanting to serve on this commission as well. I mean, you're a great asset to it. Really, it needs to be up and running since yesterday. And hopefully, if you can fast track this, and anything I can do, Justin, to help at all, my door is always open for you. If any ideas, or if you need something that's in blocking your way to make a successful commission and provide those rules and regulations, let us know. I'm very open to it. You know my number, so please, my best to your family as well. And thank you again for serving. You definitely have my support, Justin. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Senator Taitigui. Good line of questioning, and the concern about the future of these athletes after their professional career, after they've participated in the field. So with that, there are no further testimonies or questions, the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Taxation, Labor Procurement, Statistics, Research and Planning will now adjourn. The time is now 9:54. Stuas Masi, Mr. Beneventi, and looking forward to your confirmation.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thanks. Have a great day.